Jacob, how are you?
Fantastic. Right, the transportation was seamless. Teleportation.
It worked. We teleported over here together. It was fantastic. Jacob, thank you so much for joining me on 15 Minutes with Judi. I've really been looking forward to our time.
Wow, I'm excited that this time exists. This is time that I will greatly value, and I'm excited to spend it with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So everyone, I'm Judi Platz. I'm Chief Customer Officer at SupportLogic, and I'm blessed today to be joined by Jacob Goodstein, who is an Associate Director at Chewy.com. Most of us know that brand. Jacob, you've had a busy week. You had National Love Your Pet Day, I think, and today is National Walk Your Dog Day.
It is National Walk Your Dog Day.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful day in Dallas to do so. So cheers to everyone out there walking their pets and potentially listening at the same time.
Tell us about your role at Chewy, Jacob.
Sure. So I've been at Chewy. Today is 5 years and 11 months. So
wow.
I'm coming on 6 years. And my current role is the Associate Director of Program Management inside of customer service. So one of my most recent projects was helping launch our customer service team into Canada, who is the newest market that we serve. It was an exciting, fun summer doing that. The project was clearly longer than that, but that's when the action really took place. And now I'm working on some of our newer equine focus. So lots of horsing around, if you will.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to be your straight man today. I can sense, right? This is how that's going to play out for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
All right. So Jacob, usually an icebreaker question. This one might be a trick question for you, though. So if you had your choice, would it be M&Ms or would it be popcorn?
Is like forever or like one setting?
No, forever.
Is it plain M&Ms or can I go deeper into like the flavors?
You can go deeper. You can do what you need to do here to get to an answer.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go pretzel M&Ms forever.
Okay.
They got the same, maybe a little better crunch than a peanut M&M. Same size.
Okay.
But I'm a chocoholic. I'll fess up.
Okay. All right. Good to know yourself.
Where are you going with popcorn or M&Ms?
See, you walked into something. So Ryan and I, on one of our first episodes here, we merged them together. We're the people at the movie theater who dump our peanut M&Ms into our popcorn.
I see it. I respect it.
Yeah.
But how good is the meltiness? Like, it is not in your hands?
No, it's not in your hands. It's perfect. It's the salty. It's the sweet. It's not messy unless you have a lot of butter on the popcorn. So, yeah, it's a good thing.
Wait, one last question on this. This is requiring like 1 or 2 packs of M&Ms.
Just one box. One of the, movie theater $18 boxes of M&Ms, right? One of those.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. Hey, Jacob, we're here to talk about something that I think we don't talk about enough. You and I met because of an organization called CC Women, which is part of CCW, of course, the conferences that we go to and such. CC Women started by Sandy Coe, but CC Women specifically for women in contact centers and our allies. And you have been a tremendous ally, and that's how you and I first came to know each other. So I want to talk about that topic with you today, if you're in.
All in.
Okay.
I'm good to go for allyship. Honestly, anytime, any place, throw up the ally signal and I'll be there.
That's fantastic. So I'm going to ask you some questions that I thought about in preparation for today. You clearly, when you show up at CC Women, you have an energy, and this is a priority to you. You're in there early, you stay all day, you're one of the last ones to leave. What made you make allyship a priority in your life?
I think I've prioritized allyship in my life because it's been a really great litmus for me to live up to my mom's expectations for me. I've said it, I think, in a couple small groups, but like everyone's parents probably told them to be a good ally, like treat people the way you want to be treated, right? Like that's the golden rule. And then, like do unto others they would do unto you, something like along those lines, right? And so I think like I don't understand why anyone, right, male, female, any gender, any race, color, orientation of anything, like why should they be treated differently? I really like I can't comprehend it. I'm never going to comprehend that. Like it's one of the things that I've accepted. And so that like eternal thorn in my side drives me to ally because like there's so much that so many people have to offer. Like don't make it contingent on one group. It's not going to be a good time.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. You triggered my next question there. There's so much that people have to offer. But I would say that in today's crazy world, a lot of people don't have time, or they feel they don't have time. If they could do one or two things to be an ally and it doesn't consume a lot of time, what would you recommend to them?
This is a fun question. How long do I have for this question?
Well, remember, it's 15 minutes with me, but you're welcome to come back.
Okay, so what can people do with a little bit of time? Like,
right. Yeah. I want to be an ally. I just don't have the time. You've heard it. We've all heard it.
Okay, well, I think I have a strong opinion about this. One of my friends said, I can't be an ally because I can't change my Facebook profile picture and make a post and wear these clothes and do this thing. But here's like, so I think this person was really just like combining everything into like a whole day, like allyship super day. Like it's not how allyship works. I think if you don't have a lot of time, be an ally one decision at a time. Every day we make however many thousands of decisions. Just do it one at a time. Like maybe I wasn't consciously thinking about this. Let me think about this today. Boom. You decided to be one step closer to, or you decided one decision more in the the column of allyship. So just one at a time. Don't make this a radical lifestyle. Just do it one at a time.
That's great. That's very good. Stop and be purposeful and meaningful in your decision making. I love it.
Yeah,
so I think
so more eloquently said by you, but yes, that.
So I think being an ally, comes with challenges too, right? What's been your biggest challenge, Jacob? Pretend like there's not a lot of people watching this and you and I are just sitting over a cup of coffee. What have you found to be the biggest challenge in being an ally?
The biggest challenge in being an ally is the more decisions you make to ally, right? A little bit under the microscope you become. And so your decisions are judged maybe a little bit harsher. I don't know. And so that's sometimes a challenge. And the other challenge that I've faced is me personally. I have a minimal filter, and I'm willing to advocate and ally, I think, in ways that are like reasonable, normal, and respectable. But people will hold on to some of those things. Say, well, we don't want to have this conversation today. Keep Jacob out of the conversation. You're like, wow, really? You don't think I'm capable of having a conversation and allying and having it be like, along the same path, the same agenda? Like being omitted from conversations because you're identified as an ally was like, This is
Wow.
exactly why I ally. I'll do it again. An ally probably won't face the amount of difficulty in like being challenged as an ally as the group that they're allying for.
Very well said. So that's your challenge. What's been, if somebody said, Jacob's name, especially at CC Women, we all say, yeah, he's an ally. It's just, you're kind of like Prince, right? You can just say Jacob and everybody knows who we're talking about. What makes you a good ally? Besides what your mom and dad helped you learn and all of that, besides the fact that, you're, I'm going to say maniacal about it because you really put a lot of time and focus to it. But like, what's the one trait that really makes you a good ally?
Inclusion and transparency, right? I've gone out into hallways at CC Women and said, "Hey, I'm going to speak. Can you come in?" And they're like, "Isn't it CC Women?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's me, so come in." And so, bringing anyone along for the ride is one of the things that I think makes me a good ally. And then transparency, like it's what you don't say sometimes that stops you from being an ally.
Yeah.
And so if you're not willing to be transparent about, about salaries, about jobs, about experiences, then you're doing the people you're allying with and for a disservice. And I feel like that inclusion and transparency are probably my strong suits on my like ally stat card.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think you have that amazing ability, Jacob, to make people around you smile and feel comfortable. And it's only when they're comfortable that they feel safe and then they're willing to start talking and sharing. So hats off to you for that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So a little bit of a touchy subject on this next one, but I think it's worth talking about. There's a lot in the press these days, depending on what you read and where you're reading it. But it seems to be across the board that there's a lot of feeling that DEI has taken a back seat. There's been a lot of layoffs. DEI owners, if you will, program owners and things have been let go. And it seems like a lot of work that was done, over the years, not that we've backtracked, but all of a sudden it's become a nice to have, not a must have when you think about DEI and the programs and such. What do you think? What are you seeing? Are we where we should be, or has the eye come off the ball a little bit there?
So I'll start with my views represent myself only and do not represent the views of my employer. So just for a second, I think I was so excited to see DE&I really like pick up and be a thing. And I live in a place, the state of Texas, where I think public universities are not allowed to have them now, like DE&I at public universities. That is a terrible, terrible decision. I'll share with you why I think that's a terrible decision. DE&I is not the police. DE&I is not for, the I is not for indoctrination. It's for inclusion. And when we lose DE&I programs, like, as we say at Chewy, paws crossed, like we never lose ours, and it seems to be doing well, is that it is retrogressive. It is a major step backwards to lose these programs. Why? Not because I think any one employer's DE&I program is actually changing the world, but what it is doing is it's giving folks exposure where they wouldn't normally, right? I'll give you an example. Every famous piece of artwork ever, right? Like the Mona Lisa, anything by Da Vinci, right? Like the public needs access to these things. And there's a reason why they're not all in like some, trillionaire, billionaire's house. We need to be inspired. right? And I think that DE&I programs do a good job of inspiring that kind of access to be an ally, right? Safety and security in your workplace, that you feel heard and understood, that are things that drive you to be more productive. You feel like you belong, right? I'm interested to see, DE&I initiatives versus attrition at these workplaces now. What's that look like? I don't know. And so by ending DE&I programs, I feel like it's a major step backwards in the workplace. Honestly, I'll be very real with you. Having worked at Chewy, who has a DE&I program, I would personally feel uncomfortable going to a new place of employment where it wasn't a priority.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
You heard that, recruiters? Be aware.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's amazing how many people look at websites right before they join a company. And when they look at, for instance, is DEI actively out there? Is it part of the culture of that company, part of the mission, part of the values? And then they go to the leadership page, right? They can see a lot just by looking for those two things. Who's in leadership, and are we expressive about what's important to us for our employees? So, Jacob, I'm probably going to have to ask you back for another one of these sessions. We only got through like half of our questions, but I just want you to know I appreciate you. I thank you. I'm sure all other women and groups within thank you for being an ally. We know that it's an investment from your heart and from your core being, because you give us time and you give us space, and we appreciate that. But thank you for coming on here today and spending some time with me.
Judi, today, no EGR. I don't feel like any extra grace was required from either of us. I'm so grateful to have had such a candid conversation. I feel so good that I'll probably be productive the rest of the day because I got to share and express things that I care about. And so I am grateful for you. Thank you for having me. I look forward to being back, and I look forward to catching up soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Jacob.